Peace, 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 greetings, greetings, greetings. Let's give honor to Source, the creator, the ancestors, known and unknown, for the highest good of all. Hey! Whoa! So, I'm out here, I'm just sharing, I'm just expressing something. And it's not the fact of I'm bringing it to anyone, it's just the fact of, again, if you've been watching or observing or following me this long, oh shoot, go get it, whoa, come on. I'm out here with my son, and naturally what comes up for me is something that I'm going to go into a little more detail about, because a father wound, oh my gosh, having people leave trash, something that I do not want him to pick up. You don't need this. Oh, the trash can is way over there. Get the ball. But I got a lot of more content and insight on a lot of stuff that's coming into fruition here soon. But as I'm with my son, I want to share something with those who are probably unaware what a father wound and how it can look different for a man and woman, whether you subscribe to gender or not. But I'm just saying, like, one of the biggest things that's coming up for me right now is like even the fact of when I'm out here with my son, it's so healing for my inner child. It's so, it brings a deeper awareness to, I can see why I have to remind myself not to lose myself in the idea of trying to be the perfect father, the perfect man, and so forth. Like our kids are like, here you go. Our kids are like a bridge to the things that, are you just sitting there being still? You pooping or peeing? Our kids are like, it's like a bridge from not just a wound, but also to remind us of the gain of things that we no longer have to subscribe to or linger in. Meaning, like, does not, like right now I'm in between like a battle of like, you know, I feel like I gotta say this for people who go through this thing where, okay, come on, who goes through this thing where, you know, let's say they had an absent parent or father or mother or something, and it's kind of difficult for them because they want their child to be in their life, or their child to be, you want your child to be in well, they want their grandchild to be in their life. But some things that are not spoken about, come over here, are the fact of like the unprocessed emotions and memories that you still have to go through, accepting the fact of like this person not being there. And then even when you look at your child, it's like a remembrance of what to let go of and what you cannot hold on to. And I can see the challenging a lot of people holding on to that unresolved or repressed emotions over time because of that abandonment wound. And like I said, that can look different from a man. It's different from me because as a reflection of the patriarchal, to realize like there's a lot of things that come up for things I wish I could have known, I wish my dad could have done, or, you know, so many different things. And it's like, you know, some of us, we have anger because we want to immediately remind them of like, well, what you didn't do and how you should have done it and so forth. And all of that is great because, again, the emotions, you don't want to ignore the emotions around what you feel. Let me see. You want me to pick you up? Is you really waiting on me to pick you up? Huh? Just throw it in there. Throw it. I just probably got to get you a little basketball goal. Yeah. Get it. But anywho, yeah, so it naturally is going to bring up things. And And with me, it's like when those angers and all that stuff comes up, you naturally feels like you want to distance yourself. Yo, bro, let's not get into that. You're going to keep getting your feet caught. You doing it over. But again, it's going to naturally make you want to distance yourself. And all of that is normal because it's part of the emotion. What I have to realize is also it's almost like if you look at the past or the timeline of things, is that I want to remind myself to be able to process it. Because I'm at a place now, it's like, I don't even know how to, some of us, depending on the situation or experience, depending on the situation, like sometimes you don't know how to initiate things. No. Come on. You don't know how to initiate. And I feel like that's kind of where a lot of people are. Come on. Jump. And especially for me, it's like sometimes I don't even know how to initiate something. It's like a child being reborn or trying to introduce himself to something new. It's like I don't even know where to begin when it comes to trying to rebuild or repair. And I think that's one of the most difficult things, because some of us who have been in what we don't realize as people-pleasing cycles or overgiving because of an abandonment wound or because of an absent parent or whomever, now we develop these behavior patterns that we realize has not just hindered us, but kind of stunted our own growth from progressing in a more holistic and healthy way. So now that here we are, a lot of us now trying to resolve what hasn't been processed either by ourselves or even our caregivers. Because again, I realized for me, being active is much more bigger than just being there. You're trying to throw that dirt at So being present, it just, it's natural for the emotions and stuff to come up, because I realized like the importance of someone not being there, and then me being here has so much of I realize now, of a profound impact to where that can be a lot of the motivation. Come here. I gotta wipe your nose. Oh shoot, I left the stroller over there. Come here. And it's like, sometimes I tell myself, is this you okay? Is this karma playing out? The fact of, someone not being there. And then you tell yourself, is it punishment because, you want to be active, and then setting boundaries and not allowing people because sometimes of our own subconscious fears, sometimes of our own personal, whatever it is, limitations, subconscious, things that sometimes we were never allowed to process. So in processing these things later, it's like, I tell myself, come on, slide down. I tell myself, like, again, a part of me wants to want my children to be a part of their grandparents' life. But then again, you never know the situation when it comes to, disrespect, having to set boundaries, or even the fact of having to try to process the absence and the abandonment wound in itself. Like, again, that father wound that, again, if you've been watching, I've talked more about the mother wound, but now I realize, like, the divine has me drifting towards the father wound and speaking about that. I even got some more things that I'm coming to speak about, like, it's wild. Like, if I tell y'all, it's like, sometimes it can make sense and sometimes it don't, but it's like, to me it does, because I'm the vessel, I'm the person that the divine wants to deliver this message, and especially not just for men, but also to the women, because of the fact of, it's like I've been around other men, because using my situation, not just me, but with my father and other men that I've known, it's like being able to see, come on, through experience. Come here. Go. Through experience, being able to, yay, go again. Being able to see different types of men, and now being able to, I want to say not just collaborate, because it's probably going to come to collaboration, but being able to speak on the silent conversations, or the conversations about being able to be that man that could, even though I'm not, let's say, someone's father, but the perspective coming from a man in an authentic and an integrative way about, let's say, like knowing men that I know that were drug dealers, or knowing men that were blue collar or white collar, just different perspectives of men, where I realized, like, through my daughter's interactions, I'm able to see a whole different perspective from that father to a daughter, but then realizing, like, that little girl, that daughter, is inside of all women. So these conversations are going to be different topics about the conversations never had, or women, some women not realizing, like, dang, how could I express this? Just basically conversations that, come here, come here. Just conversations like they wish they could have had with their father, or conversations that they didn't even realize that other men. Conversations that they didn't even realize, like their father, or coming from a man who can relate. Even though I wasn't there personally, it's more like speaking from a perspective of, like, knowing, like, hey, maybe this conversation, or what I'm going to elaborate, can bring more soothing, or more, or trigger something to whatever is, like, not processed, or is hasn't been processed, for that woman, that teenager, that, and so forth. Even with when it comes to again, it's really addressing the father wound that a lot of people don't realize is unprocessed, like how much it does impact. Because even just at a young age with my daughter, her just being 5, it makes me be able to connect the bridge between the daughter and the women that are trying to regain, or restabilize, or recalibrate, or be reborn through that unprocessed emotions, or that things that have been suppressed for so long. Those emotions around the things that have been repressed around that father wound, or them not even realizing that it's there.
I'm shutting this gate.
So yeah, he don't want to be touched, okay? It's okay. Come over here. Hold on one moment. All right, come on, go ahead. You guys can play with that ball if you want to. No. He can play with the ball.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I said the ball. He can play with the ball. You can play with the ball. But yeah, my son was like, which is important. Again, a lot of these things just, I realized, giving me a more heightened awareness around, like a deeper, more, I don't like to use the oversaturated word consciousness around parenting or being a guardian. Huh? It's okay. He just playing with it. Want to go play with him? But anywho, but yeah. But anywho, I don't even, I mean, it's not even that I don't know how I'm going to do these things. It's more so the initiative, because this is the start of the conversations. Like I said, I'm being able to bring forth a different perspective on the father wound coming from a man who has, who's still processing it and still like navigating through it, because life is still going to show you to move forward. Come on. Because even when someone was not there, it still shows the spiritual, mental, and emotional significance that one still holds within themselves, even into adulthood. It's okay. They just playing. You want to play with it? So, yeah. Like I said, I have some... I put a lot of stuff in my notes to where eventually I'm going to get around to it. To where these conversations, like I said, I got different topics that it's like this conversation I'm going to have with all women. Even topics like, one of the topics is like conversations around being the preacher's daughter, or, you know, it's so many different topics. And it's almost like I'm speaking from a perspective of putting myself, like I said, even though I didn't experience this, but putting myself in a position of like energetically putting myself in the perspective of the father and the daughter. So it's like a conversation to where it's like the ones you couldn't have, or the ones you were afraid to have, and then also the ones around, like, even the ego around, like, why certain fathers or certain men who had a certain blueprint do what they do and have so much pride. Come on, let's go down the slide. Come on. Let's go down the slide. Come on. Hey. Come on. So, yeah. And that's just, you know, I'll go more in detail on other videos, but so a lot of these things is to, again, it's going to be triggering. If it doesn't resonate, that's cool. Come on. If it doesn't resonate, that's cool, but it's more so, go. It's more so the fact of, like, even being in the presence of with my son, it's like what people don't realize, it's naturally supposed to bring up that which is suppressed and repressed. And it could be different for everyone. Go, 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 go. Come on. It could be different for everyone, because it's like, am I going to hold on to, come on, let's go. Go. Whee! Am I going to hold on to what my dad didn't do, and keep myself from progressing and enjoying life? And just like me and my son going down the slide, I'm not just doing it just for me. I'm doing it, it's like my inner child gets to enjoy it together, like him as a child. But this little boy, he's not gonna always be, he's gonna grow into a man. So it's like we have to realize, like, we've gotten so far from the adult or from the child aspect of being innocent that we don't allow ourselves to play. And right now, as I'm making this video, we in every season, and the importance of all of this is, like, it's playful. We have to allow ourselves to play and be innocent, and whatever comes up has to come up, because it's to reconnect us to that innocence. I've been naturally been engaging and connecting with my son more, but it's really highlighting the fact of either what I didn't receive, which again is natural for the emotions to come up for me to process. But if I try to hold on to it, then what it does, it prevents me from showing up for myself and those that are involved. So being able to realize, like, my dad had the opportunity to do this, or he could have done it differently, even though his situation with my mom was different. It's just the fact of now the importance of being present is to be able to cherish it, to cherish the present moment. That this is where the healing begins, because the karma comes through his lesson of not being there. That's people's lesson. It's like allowing them to realize like your decisions are why you're where you are as a grandparent or certain people. My decisions that I'm making now, when I do become a grandparent or, and so forth, I can realize like these are the seeds that I sowed. No matter financially, no matter what I was going through, I made a decision to be here. No matter the excuses, I made a decision within myself to heal, to mend things, which again, a lot of these things and the discussions that I'm going to talk about has a lot to do with sharing things to bring a perspective. It's almost like again, being used to be able to, the source guiding me to have these almost like conversations. You trying to throw that dirt on me, girl. And realizing, again, allowing the things to come up. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's not, that's the thing about, sometimes it just comes out of nowhere, but I'm not going to keep myself from the fun and enjoying the present moment, because that's the thing about, if people want to make the effort, they'll do it. There's no excuses. If people wanted to be a part of your life and meet you where you are on your frequency, on your vibration, that's another reason, again, in the healing process or on this journey, why a lot of people aren't able. Because in this process, if there were things where I didn't set these boundaries or become more in tune with myself, then it's like being this inspiration right now has a lot to do with the healing process that I have gotten to where there cannot be no interruptions, because this message isn't just for me, it's for other fathers and mothers, it's for other people as well. So a lot of this has a lot to do with, again, yeah, my son, he's like, we ain't going for that. Kids be knowing too, bro. They be picking up on energy. Cause it's so funny, because I saw how the lady was treating her sons. He wants to talk to him, but my son, it's like, I gotta realize they pick up on vibes. They be knowing too. Cause, you okay? Huh? The baby? You want to be nice to the baby? He keep wanting to interact with Leo. Well, I told you, like, he's letting me know that he doesn't want to play right now. He just keep telling me he want to be nice. Listen, one thing I realized about my son and my daughter, they're very in tune. You have to really be aware with kids, because during your healing journey and doing certain things, spiritual warfare is a real thing. They let you know. That's why a lot of, like, I realized the father wound and mother wound, coming back home to yourself, realize like how much your inner child wasn't protected, how much is a responsibility for you to protect, or you to be of a guardian to their inner child, because that's the only thing that they're demonstrating. If a child is showing like they don't want to be approached, they don't want to be doing that, it's their way of saying like, hey daddy, maybe I pick up on something that you don't, or hey mommy, I pick up on something that you don't. Now, I was just having a discussion with one of my homeboys about even the fact of like the single mother thing, where a lot of women are subjected to a lot of their wounds being preyed upon, or in their vulnerability, a lot of them are subjected to spiritual warfare, or men coming into their world, because a lot of them being subjected to a lot of men who have unresolved things. All right, I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, have a great day, y'all. So yeah, me getting into that again, like I was telling my bro, it's like a lot of us are I wouldn't even just like to use the word victims, but a lot of us have been, when you think about sexual abuse, physical, mental, and so forth, are at the hands of both men and women. Men and women, I'm just saying men, especially, like, not just men, but it plays a major part in how the men were supported growing up, but also the men who didn't have no direction or guide to just continue a cycle of dysfunctionality or preying on women with no intentions on bettering their situation, with no intentions on building and expanding. And I always tell people, it's not so much their fault. It's so much of, like, you have to realize, like, a lot of us aren't taught the vetting process. A lot of us aren't taught, like, even through my situation, I don't feel shame and guilt to talk about my situation when it comes to myself being a father, how I came into it, the situation of the mother of my children. And again, I've said countless times before when I don't hear, but I told myself, I was like, would I have done things differently? No. Because had I not met that person, even where they were, I would have never came into this awareness of being who I am and expressing these things. Leo, put his shoes back on. Like, expressing these things and elaborating more, because I realized I was supposed to, because there are others out there who are trying to make sense of these situations or these circumstances. Come here. These situations and circumstances. Come here. Get your butt over here. Hold on 1 second. But yeah, it's so funny because even though I'm talking about being a guardian and parental, like, this lady out here with her 2 sons, and the way she's talking to them is wild, like threatening them to whoop them and stuff. They real small, and a lot of these things is for a reason. Come here, Leo. Look, Leo. 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 So again, get that ball. Come on. Go get it. Go get it. Man, if y'all hear that in the background, I cannot change that. Because again, it's funny how situations like this remind you the importance of why I do, or why I'm being chosen to do these things, like to say these things, because you'll have an energy come up, the opposite energy of what you're putting out. That's the beauty of the duality of things, is that a lot of these things be reminders of your purpose, of your mission. And it's like I can pick up on what these mothers go through, and being able to have more grace to the situation. So again, like I said, I was talking to my bro about realizing, like, a lot of us were subjected to a lot of things that we didn't even realize subconsciously. Now we're trying to process later on in our years, and to being able to see the bigger picture, being able to see the forest from the trees. Because when you're in the process of dysfunctionality, when you're in the process of keep doing the same thing and you don't see anything greater than that, what ends up happening is a lot of things, Leo, a lot of things we think that it's supposed to just be that way and that's it. But it's not. I got a runner. Get your butt over here. Get your butt over here. Get your butt over. You trying to run out the gate. Come on. Come on. But again, I'm trying to multitask doing this. Kick it. Good kick. Come on. But yeah, it's just the fact of, like, the awareness around all this is to realize, like, there are mothers and fathers out there that want to be better for themselves. A lot of us just don't know how. Come on. We just don't know how. And there's frustration around for some people to even be single mothers or single parents and shit like that. That's like extra frustration. some people feel helpless in their situation. And when you're going through the process, when you haven't gone through the process of like things that you didn't even realize that was unresolved, come on, or haven't processed, that doesn't, it seems like it doesn't even make it better or easier, because some people are so convinced that I don't have to talk about these things, I don't have to do this, and don't realize a lot of their situation, their reality has a lot to do with what is unprocessed, what hasn't been processed, what hasn't been resolved. And a lot of it sometimes has nothing to do, not necessarily personally with them, but when you think about things generationally, ancestrally, I start to break down my situation even when it came to my father, with the men in my family, the things that the women, whether they single mothers or not, their relationships and so forth, I start to recognize like, well, I can see why it's not just so much of failed relationships, but so much of like why some of them don't have successful relationships with men. Why even the men don't have successful relationships with women. You know, why aren't people able to stay? Come on. Why aren't people able to be in something stable or balanced and so forth? What is being ignored or what hasn't been processed? So it's a lot around the things that, again, I'm able to be, to use my mind to realize, like, or just through processing emotions, things that are unresolved, to see why certain people either made decisions or that's what they felt was best. Whether it's not even just good or bad, that's what they felt what was best. You know, again, from my dad, hearing after 30 years, hearing his side, why he had to make the decisions that he made. Again, there are a lot of men who make those decisions where, again, naturally in a society where we have prone or given this idea that naturally taking the side of women when it comes to their vulnerability or when it comes to them being attacked, you know, so many different ways where men are still just taught to be strong, be this, be that, without actually having any emotional support through the situation, without having want some water, without even having a helping hand. And I'm realizing now at 36, I'm just now learning what it is after building a healthy relationship with myself and learning more daily, that I'm seeing the hold on, the importance of brotherhood. And in that, I'm realizing, like, this is something I have to teach my son too. He has to learn about, because it's so many men out here that, again, that people don't know about. Come on, you want water? Hold it. That people don't realize, like, a lot of these young boys, when I be seeing them, a lot of these young boys, come on, go. Got it? There we go. A lot of these young men, and that's why it's so important it starts even as a father. Go that way. Come on. It starts as a father. Come on. Where brotherhood starts here with yourself, and a healthy brothership at that. Whoa! Yeah, a healthy brothership or brotherhood starts in with yourself and with your father. So if you never had that, this is why I was telling one of my bros now, as we start to build something, you know, healthy, because you've been honest. Come on. Go. Being healthy and honest is that you realize that even when it comes to women too, before I get there, a lot of men don't have brotherhood from a holistic place, because and it's so funny. It's so interesting, because when I mean by brotherhood, and I've said this in another video, not just childhood and brotherhood and sisterhood and family and all this other stuff. Like, y'all gotta realize, then they call it parenthood, but anywho, you have, like, there's a thing where when you look at how divided the world has been, come on, slide. Whoa, grab. When you look at the division of everything, You see all these societies, all these groups, all these things. But when you look at the foundation of what it's been built on, the foundation of inauthenticity, of trying to come on, there you go. 1, 2, jump. 1, 2, wow! Trying to build things, with, when you think about the leadership of certain men, this way, come on. When you think about the leadership of men, a lot of them want to, you know, when you hear about, fraternities and a lot of stuff, like, come on, like, let's be honest, a lot of this stuff is being exposed because it ain't built, it's built on power struggles. It's built on trying to one-up each other, trying to, why are you trying to do something that you ain't big enough to do that yet? Come on. But trying to one-up each other. Hold on 1 second. Trying to, this way. Come on your butt. Trying to one-up each other. A lot of these things, they use their energy, or if you want to say magic, use all these things to try to corrupt, mislead, confuse, and all of it, all the foundations. When it comes to just all the things they try to build up on, a lot of it centered around trying to, you want to get on? Trying to, come on, 1, 2, 3, trying to confuse another, trying to outwork the other, all these different things that's trying to get them to realize, like, well, you're not as powerful as I am, or you're not as accomplished as I am. You don't have as many degrees, you know, and then even through sexual deeds, like, I can go deeper and deeper to where a lot of it is just a power struggle, manipulation, control. And when you realize, like, a lot of why these people behaviors, men, you want me to move my foot? Well, you're hilarious. A lot of these people's behaviors stems from a lot of childhood wounds, or a lot of things being attacked when they're young. So it really doesn't surprise me to where if I'm walking into a room with confidence, with knowingness of myself, that comes from the fact of me realizing, like, I don't have to be in conflict with myself, or the inner conflict of knowing, like, that I'm in competition, or have a wounded ego, or focus on, whoa, you hold it on? Like, focus on, like, being in secret competition, or trying to destroy, or, come on. You want to stay on? Okay. I'm trying to manipulate, deceive another one on my way up and into whatever status, whatever career, and so forth. And that's what you have. There's no other way to look at it. Because if it was the betterment of all, then you will see most of the people that y'all call leaders or in prominent positions be in a place of for the betterment of all, for those who have to receive everyone to be in an abundant state of being and awareness and so forth. So this collapse has a lot to do with that. And even again, like I tell you, a lot of the woundedness is centered around too the women who supported that. And that's, you know, where your energy goes, where your energy flows is where it goes and where it grows. Come on, son, you just, come on, you wanna get down? Okay. Come on. Whoa, you got it? What? You know our kids get off one thing and it's the same on the other side, but they gotta try it. You okay? All right, come on. And another thing is, like, even in this video, it's like I'm doing, not that it matters, but one of the biggest things I'm recognizing now is the importance of privacy. I share what I want to, but at the same time, I don't have nothing to hide, because that's the evolution of even a scorpionic energy, or even just energy in itself. It evolves because we didn't come here to hide. But one thing that I made a decision on is realizing being exposed to things so young and the importance of a child realizing, like, we don't realize as we were exposed to things young and realizing the internal wounds that we have, and now trying to stabilize and process our dysregulated nervous system or stabilize it. In that, you will notice that how important it is for privacy, the balance. Like, one thing I realized in my exposure and my healing, even in the fact of, like, I related to my father not being there and then having to tell him the things I went through because he wasn't there, it just highlighted the fact of realizing, you want to get down? Okay, come on. The privacy, the importance of how certain things are sacred. And when we see our inner child as that, you realize your children are that too, because a lot of this systematic shit is just to expose, meaning like forcefully expose, like who they are, or control or try to manipulate things as such. So I value my privacy more and more, and even value the privacy of my kids, because it's like, I don't want them, and I don't have to allow them to be in a spotlight that isn't aligned with what their purpose is or what their mission is here to do. Now, how many guardians or people who care about that shit? Because that's important. It's very vital, because in our exposure to stuff, we keep wondering why we're going through the same cycles of dysfunctionality, or we keep wondering why our life isn't where we want it to be. It's because what if the divine or source is asking you, the Most High, whatever you want to subscribe to, is asking you to create more of a life that's private, to create more of a life that is protected. And in your learning to protect your inner child, you will realize the sacredness in why your life is supposed to be a balance between yourself and the outside world. So a lot of things, when it comes to the wounds, or when it comes to things like that, has a lot to do with the fact of what can no longer be ignored. And that's what the new order of things, or the new world actually is, the fact of you renewing and rebalancing or rebirthing through the old narrative. Whoa, come on. Taking that initiative. So for a lot of people, no matter where you are, your age, again, it's you coming into this awareness now and realizing, like, a lot of things are not your fault. It's you now realizing, like, it's things that you were never taught, that you were exposed to. And it's like, now the mess that you made, you had an opportunity to clean it up. That's the thing about being in this experience, or this human experience, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is that you have the opportunity. No matter what no one has said, you have the opportunity. It's not about being perfect. I told myself, I'm like, man, I'm still learning this father thing. And one of the greatest things I did have to learn through this, because it's different for everybody, is that everything ain't about money. Everything ain't about having so much material shit. Because if you ain't equipped spiritually and stable emotionally, mentally, none of that matters. Because the same way a man can build it, he can destroy with his actions. So a lot of things that I realized, a lot of these cycles that coming back around, I realized, like, oh snap, it's for me to realize, like, okay, what are you gonna do different this time? What do you need to be more disciplined in? How can you approach this differently? What can you do differently than your, not just so much, your dad actions was just to prepare you. Where you going? Your dad actions, come on this way. Your dad actions was just to prepare you for, the self-discipline and to do things differently. Your mom, same way. All these things were just to prepare you. You wasn't supposed to have all the answers, because they didn't. They only basically did what they knew. And guess what? After we leave, our kids are they're gonna do the same thing. They're gonna figure out what's best for them. And we're doing what's best for us. That's what grace comes in. That's what I learned, to have gratitude. So again, I'm I'm glad I did talk about these things because it's very vital during these moments. You see the black cat? Woo, that's a big black cat. It's beautiful. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share. I'll come share more. I'm probably gonna put this on my new channel and then my up-to-date channel. And yeah, y'all take care of yourself. Peace and blessings. Shalom.